fourth test of the Ashes series that's already been decided. Australia taking an unassailable 3-0 lead. They have retained the Ashes. England now playing for pride. And we're going to join just about an hour into the first session. And England are on top right now. They've just gone to drinks. Australia 34 for 3, having been put into bat by England. Couple of changes in the lineup as well. So I'll tell you about those. So for England, Jacob Bethel has come in for Ollie Pope. And Gus Atkinson back in the side with Jofra Archer being rested. For Australia, they've got Michael Neser and Jai Richardson into the side. And they're going to open alongside Mitch Stark, Scott Boland still there. And Pat Cummins sitting it out with Steve Smith back in the captaincy role. And so far, England are kind of running roughshod over this test. Like it's 11.5 overs in at drinks. Gus Atkinson first dismissed Travis Head. He chopped onto the stumps. And then Josh Tongue has managed to dismiss Jake Weatherald, caught behind by Jamie Smith. And Joe Root's just taken another catch, and that's another one for Josh Tongue. Josh Tongue's got 2 wickets. So England have Australia 34 for 3. A terrific start this by England. Just looking at those wickets again, I think this one's caught everybody a little bit off guard. Really, really good stuff. Let me know if you're joining me, what you've made of the start by England. It's been very, very impressive stuff, I have to say. Again, just caught everybody by surprise, really. It's been very, very impressive stuff. Really good start from England. And maybe it's not going to be a 5-0 whitewash like people were expecting. I think that's the best hope, really, at this point for England fans. But we'll wait and see how things go down. But at the moment, things going pretty well, it has to be said from England perspective. It's the Melbourne Cricket Ground, the MCG, one of the biggest, certainly most iconic venues in the history of sport. And probably not one of the places where people would have fancied England to have done super well. But anyway, thanks for joining me, everybody who's with me. Thank you for that thumbs up, whoever gave it to me. Outside edge, caught by Joe Root, just showing a replay again. Josh Tongue finding good area. It's been really, really strong stuff from England's bowlers so far this morning. Can they keep this going, though? That's the question. And a bit of a challenge here for Steve Smith and Usman Khawaja. I think it's going to come out and join him and try and resurrect this Australian innings. Because so far, this is a pretty good performance for England. And again, you kind of look at it and think, well, where was this in the last game? Why were you not this good at what's good? Anyway, it's going to be a lot of that. Here's Josh Tongue in full. Ball's defended by Khawaja to mid-on. There is no run. So terrific over. A wicket maiden from Josh Tongue. He's got figures of 2 for 3, which is actually 3 for 2. And then 2 wickets, 3 runs. It's going to be a little bit confusing until he concedes more than 10 runs. Always the way when you're doing things in half English and half Australian scoring. But just taking a look at the consistency with which Tongue's bowled today, found that good length area, just back of a length, and then goes a little bit fuller, gets the outside edge for Marnus Lambashane. Really good setup, that. Really, really good setup. And just quality bowling, really. I think he bowled 7 balls to him in total and managed to get him out. Really, really good stuff. So anyway, if you're with me, thanks for joining me. And keep the chat going as Atkinson is in. This time the ball just pops up off a length a little bit. And Smith defends into the offside. There is no run. Gus Atkinson's bowled really well as well. He's into his 7th over. And thus far just conceded the 7 runs. 1 for 7, his figures. Really, really impressive from Gus Atkinson as well, back into the side today. So, it's been really, really good. Enjoyable cricket so far. Anyway, just going to get into a better angle. There we go. Let's do it this way. That one's left alone outside the off stump. Bit of a more leavable length. I'm watching on TNT Sports in the UK. They have they're the official broadcaster in the UK. I'm using the Discovery Plus app to access TNT Sports. And just going to describe the action for you as it goes along. Give you my thoughts, share some opinions, and happy to answer any questions, all that kind of stuff. You just let me know what it is you want to talk about, guys. Right, now then, Atkinson into Smith, who pushes the ball defensively back towards Atkinson in his follow-through. There is no run. Australia 34 for 3. And if you were celebrating, Merry Christmas to you. My beverage of choice tonight is Salam Cola. Sugar-free Salam Cola, actually. This will hopefully keep you going through to the end of the session. Now then, Atkinson, 3 dots in a row here. Been difficult to get away. And he comes to Steve Smith. Angles that in towards his pads. He just turns it towards Duckett in front of square leg. How about all that stuff that went down with Ben Duckett, huh? We'll talk about that as well a little bit more in the stream. We'll talk about what went down with Ben Duckett and how that could impact England's preparations or whatever for this game. Is my laptop a little bit dusty? Sorry about that. You're not supposed to wipe off dust with your hand, but I'm going to do it anyway. Is that a bit cleaner? Sorry about that. I don't know. Is it cleaner now? There we go. Oof, it is quite dusty. It's been here for a while. I'm currently broadcasting. Oh, the next ball's driven to cover. There is no run. Yeah, currently in Luton in England. I'm still on my stand-up comedy tour, still traveling. And the current stop is Luton. In fact, tonight we were performing in, where were we? Whitechapel in London. We're in Luton now. Tomorrow we'll be in Croydon. And there's also Oxford to come. So a lot of traveling recently, but plenty of time to always able to make some time to watch some cricket in it. Right, Atkinson's bowled 5 dots in a row, 3 slips in a gully in place, and another good length ball, which Smith respectfully defends back to the bowler, and there is no run, so that's another maiden over. Atkinson has bowled 7 overs, just conceded 7 runs, and 1 wicket to his name as well. England really turning up at the MCG. This is impressive stuff from England, and they're in a sort of a weird position here, aren't they, England? Because, like, you win the game, and everybody's like, well, why didn't you perform like that before? You lose the game, and they're like, oh, it's just more of the same. Like, it's really, dead rubbers are tough, and they've got 2 of these games to play, England. I actually thought they put in a decent performance in that 3rd test. It was better than what they managed in the last test, I thought. Just my opinion, obviously, but yeah. Let's see what they can pull out today. Osman Khwaja awaiting Josh Tongue. So figures of 2 for 3 so far. This is full, clipped away nicely by Khwaja, down to fine leg. And Atkinson does the fielding. He'll pick up a single. It's Osman Khwaja off the mark. He's got 1 off 2. Smith is on 1 off 14, so struggling to find fluency just yet, but England have been very, very impressive so far. You got Jeff Moon with us. Why do you think a lot of watch-along cricket chooses to swear? Oh, hold on. Wasn't me, was it? I didn't swear, did I? Chooses to swear. To me, it's a turn-off. I don't know, man. I think because in mainstream cricket coverage, people don't swear. This is short outside off. It's been punched to cover no run. So I think because in mainstream cricket, Jeff, people don't swear. So it makes you stand out a little bit, maybe. Maybe people think like, okay, you know, this is how we look like the alternative, a bit punk, a bit, you know, maybe that's why they do it. But yeah, like I don't really swear that much anyway, and I don't feel the need to swear watching cricket. Also, I don't want to pick up any bad habits because I'm eventually going to be broadcasting on the mainstream again very soon. So yeah, that's my take, man. I don't know why people do that. Anyway, here's Tongue in. Again, well defended by Smith into the offside. No run. 35 for 3, Australia still. If you're just joining us, 35 for 3. What is going on? Right, Jen is with us as well. So what did I tell you about Atkinson? Love you, of course. You don't swear. Thank you, man. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. Jen, yes, remind me, what did you tell me about Atkinson? Because it's been 6 days since the last test. Well, you said something like, could England have gone with Atkinson instead of Carse, or maybe it wasn't Carse, maybe it was Tongue. I don't know. But he's been very good. He's been very, very good. I have to admit, he's been superb. Here's Tongue into Smith. Full, driven nicely, past mid-off. That should go to the boundary for 4. It's a nice-looking shot, that from Steve Smith. Yeah, it does go to the boundary for 4. Just slightly over-pitched. And punished. Bosh. I think Cars can still be part of it, but make him the 3rd or 4th string, says Jen. Yeah, man, I feel you. Like, it's... it's a tough one for England. Like, this is a very tough tour to try and build performance of, especially when you think about the things that happen in Noosa as well. I will talk about that in a bit. Anyway, he is more consistent. Hold on, I missed that. I can catch it up over here. He is more consistent, being more dangerous than Cars. Yeah, I think that's a good point. You make a good point, bud. Now, what do we think? Smith and Khwaja to rebuild this partnership? Probably, right? Given the track record of this series, wouldn't want to bet against it. Here he comes. Josh Tongue into Smith, who again gets across his stumps, covers up and defends the ball into the onside, no run. Australia 39 for 3. England on top at the moment, made early inroads inside the first 11 overs, took 3 Australian wickets. It's a long Australian batting lineup, plenty of batters to come still. After these, you got Alex Carey, Cameron Green, Michael Neser can bat, Mitchell Starc can bat, Jai Richardson. I don't know about Jai Richardson, but Scott Boland can hold a bat. So, definitely options there for there's a big appeal for caught behind. Big appeal. Umpire says no, shakes his head. DRS timer. Instinctively, I don't know really. Let's have a look. Josh Tongue's having a chat. Ben Stokes is asking his committee, and they're chatting. DRS timer down to 4, 3, 2. Oh, there we go. There comes the T signal, which means England are going to review it. It's a weird one. I'm not quite sure if this is there, but if England can get a 4th wicket here, and then Steve Smith they send back to the dressing room, this would be huge. This would be a huge performance. Steve Smith is still just chatting to Usman Khwaja, punches gloves. I think he's sort of gesturing that it took his jumper. So maybe it took a little glance off his jumper. We'll wait and see. The TV umpire is Ehsan Raza from Pakistan. He's going to preside over this. Now we're looking at it. Went down the leg side, went very close to the gloves. I think it flicks the jumper, Yeah, jumper just flicks the hip a little bit, just the top bit of the hip. We'll wait and see. Hold on. I'll read those 2 comments in a sec, man. Let's just get through this review. There we go. Snicko is out. Yeah, nowhere near the bat. Nowhere near the glove. It's just taken a little bit of jumper on its way through, as I suspected. Snicko. Yeah, not out. Not out. Confirmed by umpire Dharmasena. And, remains 39 for 3. Right. Well, let's just have a little look at those 2 comments. I hate where this Melbourne test has come to. This isn't Australia. This is England. Last time the Boxing Day test was this cold, England won by an innings by a distance. I forgot to say Merry Christmas to you, man. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you as well, bud. Merry Christmas to everybody who's with me on the feed. I did say earlier, but I'll say it again. I hope you guys all had a lovely Christmas. I had a nice Christmas. I was performing on Christmas Day in Whitechapel in England. Big turnout, 800 people as well, which was great. Doing stand-up tonight was lots of fun. And then the night before we were in Watford, just north of London, and in the middle of the tour, just popped back to where I live in London to surprise my wife. It's our first Christmas together, so it was nice. Right, anyway, Jamie Smith should have said no there, clearly off the jumper. Yeah, you kind of hope your keeper would guide your captain better. Anyway, Bryden cast in, over pitches, and that's been driven nicely out towards deep extra cover. Ben Stokes chasing and also looking behind him to see if anybody else is chasing with him. But they managed to get back for an easy 2. Cast has been by far and away the most expensive bowler so far today. It's gone for 22 from his 4.1, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's more than half the runs Australia have scored so far today. So pressure perhaps being relieved a little bit by Bryden Cast. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Cast, but this is a chance for Australia just to break those shackles a little bit and get back in this test, start putting together the tour. So I keep looking, my beard is slightly out of control. I'm going to sort this out in the next few days. His Cast in, defended on the front foot, into the offside, no run. 41 for 3 Australia. And the first day of the 4th Ashes test, the MCG, man. Every time they show a wide angle of it on the screen, just looks resplendent. Like all the cricket grounds in Australia objectively look stunning, but the MCG is just another level, man. Incredible, just another level. Cheers, guys. Have I got any more left? A few drops. Here's Cast in. Khwaja turns that off his pads nicely. just behind square on the leg side. Josh Tongue runs down from fine leg. I think they go back for 2. They do. Good running. Arjen Smith, 43 for 3 Australia. I don't think both these players expected to play together, but there they are. Yeah, for Australia, Pat Cummins sitting out this game. And what do we get? Another comment. Wow, the MCG is big. Random, but I did like Wokes' bowling. Yeah, you know what? Chris Wokes, just super nice guy. Super nice guy. And like really underrated bowler. Here's Cast again. This time Waja defends a slightly rising delivery back towards a bowler, no run. I think Chris Wokes currently playing in the ILT20 in UAE. I think that's where Wokes is right now. But yeah, really tough cricketer as well. I remember watching him going out to bat with one arm this summer. And then a few days after that, I was at Edgbaston for a game and I saw him and I was like, Wokesy, you're crazy, man. Yeah, lucky it didn't come to him having to face any deliveries, but like, what a guy, man. Chris Wokes, legend. And terrific bowler as well. And England miss a bowler like that as Waja gets forward in defence into the covers this time. No run. Bryden Cast's average versus left-handed batters is 40.7 against right-handed batters is 22.9. So definitely more effective against some rather than others. So anyway, yeah, MCG, man. Gorgeous, great ground. Never had a chance to actually. One time I was offered the opportunity to go to the MCG for a broadcasting gig. It was the 2022 T20 World Cup final, England versus Pakistan. Here's Cast in as Waja defends again into the onside. There is no run. That's the end of the over. 4 runs coming from it. Australia 43 for 3. And Waja's got 5 off 8. Smith's got 5 off 19. Right, so yeah. As a T20 World Cup final, I was asked to go there. Now, just before I was asked to go there, I just got home from a flight from Japan. And it's a very long flight from London to Tokyo. Like, you're talking, like, and I took a connecting flight because it was cheaper. And it was economy, which isn't super, like you're on a plane for like 18 hours. And yeah, it's not super comfortable. And I just done it. I had an amazing week in Tokyo, just running around all over the place, exploring Japan. It was wonderful. And then I came straight back. And the idea of taking another 24-hour flight, even for a World Cup final, I don't know. I think we've got to make the sensible choice. And yeah, I didn't regret not going at all, to be honest with you, although I would have loved to have gone to the MCG. England can get the moral victory here, win the last 2 and win the centenary test, make it 3-3. Yeah, well, I guess so, yeah. That'll be... They could just make it count. We've got to make weird things up now at this point. Here's Tongue in, and Smith again just awkwardly defends that to point. There's no run. I say awkwardly, sort of in control of these shots. Right, what did we make of Noosa then? Everything we've heard about Noosa. I'd never heard of Noosa before this week. I didn't know it existed. And I feel like I've heard the word Noosa like 100 times over the past week. Yeah, like the stories that came out of there. Ben Duckett. The video, yeah, just generally, man, a lot of people wearing coats at the MCG. Loads of people wearing like big puffer jackets. That's not why I associate with the MCG. It's supposed to be filled with warmth. Australian summer. Where is this Australian summer? The current temperature 14.6 degrees in Australia, in Melbourne. There's a Tongue bowls a rising length again at Smith, who gets up on his toes, defends into the onside. There is no run. And puffer jackets and big thick coats. Some people are wearing gilets. They're very popular these days, gilets. All right, most runs in MCG tests. Steve Smith is in 6th in the table. Bradman, Ponting, Steve Waugh, Border, Chappell, and then Smith. And he's got a better average than everybody but Bradman at the MCG as Steve Smith. So pretty strong record. Now, here comes Josh Tongue into Steve Smith. Full driven, slightly uppishly dropped short of mid-on. Oh, he wasn't completely in control of that. Well, Steve Smith, Josh Tongue would have thought he was in the game there, and Steve Smith would have had his heart in his mouth. Score remains 43 for 3, right? What's that commento? Just something on Weatherald. I'm willing to give him time, but some people goes with some pointless stuff like Jake is 31 in the future, and as the future he can bat like Usman till 39. Usman's a rare exception, and his career has been a tale of 2 halves. Started, dropped, started, dropped, started. Yeah, I agree with you. Not everybody's going to have a long career. Tongue in, full, driven by Smith, straight to mid on again. No run. Yeah, it's almost unreasonable to expect every sort of batter to have the career that Usman Khawaja has managed to have. Like, you're not going to have players batting into their 40s. It's going to be rare, or even into their late 30s. Like, most batters will peak in their sort of early 30s and play till sort of 36, 37, 38 if you're lucky. Maybe 39 if you manage to keep your fitness. But these days, competition for those spots is in high demand. So I don't know. What do you think of the pitch in the first few overs? Looks fine, man. It doesn't look like there's any demons in it. They just bowled well. England have hold on, tongue in, left alone outside the off stumps. He's just hitting a nice length. I saw Atkinson. I thought Atkinson in particular was hitting a lovely length on a regular basis, like just very consistent. And then just went a touch fuller with the ball that got the outside edge off Marnus, and just smart bowling, just a little bit more controlled and a little bit less impatient. You know, it's felt a bit impatient at times. And it's good. These guys have an opportunity. Like, I think when Jofra Archer's playing, he's got all the hype about him. But, like, these guys have an opportunity to shine now. And shine, they're doing. Tongue, figures of 2 for 8 from his 3.5. On for another maiden here, if he can bowl this as a dot ball. Steve Smith on strike. Here comes Josh Tongue. Oh, it's just my drink, don't worry. Tongue in, full, defended again by Smith. No run. That is a maiden. So Australia 43 for 3, 16 overs have been bowled in the first session. Let's have a little look at the commentators. And I don't mind for now, since future openers are still somewhat young. So for now, Weatherald is all right as a stopgap. By the way, Cam Green is what Duckett is to you guys. What kind of dirty laundry does he have on the selectors? Well, what kind of dirty laundry does he have on the IPL people as well? Like, with that monster contract he's been signed on. He's a good player. He's a good player, Cam Green. I think he's got a big upside. I think they kind of see him almost sort of Marcus Stoinis, but for tests. I think he'd like to think he's like a tier above that. But I'd like to see. I mean, I don't know. He's an exciting cricketer to watch. He's very effective. Takes wickets, scores runs. Why not? Why not? I don't think he's in the same bracket as Ben Duckett, and that's not a knock on Duckett either. But I think they just bring different things when they're playing their best. Here's Cast into Khawaja. Again, up on his toes in defense. Pushes that ball into the offside, no run. I don't know if he needed to be up on his toes, actually, because it didn't really bounce that much. But even so, Cast is into a 6th over. And by far and away, it's been England's most expensive bowler so far today. And just broken the pressure a little bit. 0 for 24 from his 5.1 so far. Thanks for that thumbs up, by the way. If you haven't already, give us a thumbs up. Appreciate it. It just helps me out in the search algorithms. People see lots of thumbs ups. They're like, oh, this must be good. Let's check it out. Cast into Khawaja, who leaves alone outside the off stump. No run. It's a nice length. That's Bryden Cast. I mentioned I've interviewed Bryden Cast. Hold on. What'd you say? But at least Marcus Stoinis actually helped Australia win trophies. Cam Green is a passenger. That's what he is for some time now. Well, let's look into Cam Green's records a little bit. England got best chance in this test to win, says Rakib. Well, right now they do, don't they, Rakib? They've got 3 early wickets. This is the partnership, though. Here's Cast. As Khawaja plays that ball neatly off his pads, just behind screen on the leg side. It's fielded by Crawley. And they pick up a single, 44 for 3. And they've started very well. Right, let's dig into Cameron Green a little bit, shall we? Let us dig into Cam Green. 26 years of age, 35 test matches, averaging 32. Top score of 174 not out. All right, who was that against? I wonder, who was that against? All right, I have to look into his records properly in a minute. Wait, sorry. Cast is at the top of his run. I don't want to miss the ball. It obviously doesn't matter. It's just a YouTube watch along. But like the discipline in they teach you when you learn sort of professional cricket broadcasting is to never miss a ball. So you never miss a ball. Cast in, pulled away by Steve Smith. Hasn't timed it perfectly, but should pick up a few runs here. The ball's trickling away towards the square leg boundary. Nobody out there. It does get there. So that is 4 more runs to Steve Smith, 4 more runs to Australia. Score moves to 48 for 3 after 16.4 overs. Right, let's have a little look at Cam Green's test record, please. Right, what I want to do is view test records, test match list. Right. Okay, where is that big boy innings? 174 was against New Zealand at Wellington in 2024. What's he done recently? Not a lot. Not a lot. I kind of see your point. Not a huge amount. Last half century was against the West Indies in June this year. The next ball's played to fielder at mid-on, no run. That's with the bat, obviously, I should point out. What's he done with the ball? Again, not a huge amount recently. He had a fifer. When was his last 5-wicket haul? That's 5 wickets across the test. That was against South Africa in 2022. Unless I'm missing something. Do correct me if I get anything wrong, by the way, guys. Class into Smith. 2 slips in a gully in place. Nice delivery, just angling in towards Smith. He defends to mid-off. There is no run. Lots of discipline being shown by Steve Smith at the moment. He's on 9 off 28. Khawaja on 6 off 11. And Australia just trying to stabilise things after those 3 early wickets. Again, put into bat by England at the toss. I wonder, how seriously was this Noosa thing taken by Australian fans? Because in England, there's been a lot of outrage over it, which sort of figures, right? Because, like, you lost the series. A couple of the performances were embarrassing, even though I thought the third test England improved. I think it's fair to say exponentially, but not enough really to satiate their fans, right? Ben Stokes just getting a little bit of the giving the ball a little trim, just the seam of the ball getting a little trim. Maybe a bit of seam was coming loose, so Ben Stokes just wanted it cut a little bit. Umpire Chris Gaffney happy to oblige. They're just showing a little graphic of Steve Smith's weight transfer. Anyway, here's Tongue into Khawaja. This is full and driven to cover by Khawaja. No run. He immediately inspects the toe of his bat. Yeah, Noosa, man. Yeah, so the stories of England's drinking came out. Rob Key had to make a statement. I don't know, man. I think if you're away from home for a long time, like, you do what you got to do to survive. Obviously, you want to be in good shape and prepared and get to the nets and blah, 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 all that stuff. Like, you want to do everything professionally, but in your downtime, you should be able to enjoy yourself. I think some of the quotes were taken out of context. Here's Tongue, low full toss, clipped away by Khawaja. Good stop by Ben Duckett, just in front of square on the leg side, so no run. 48 for 3, the score remains. I think he said something like, if the players want to have a glass of wine with their dinner, I wouldn't have any issue with it. Was that Brendan McCullum or was it Rob Key? One or the other. And, like, it's just, like, we know they don't do that, right? Like, you don't have to know the team inside out to know these are not, we're not talking about a glass of wine with dinner. We're talking about pounding the beers, right? What do you think? What do you think is more likely? But again, like, I think what you're doing with your downtime is sort of your business. Is Tongue in, over pitch, flicked away out towards square leg. Zach Crawley chases it down. They'll pick up 2, I think. Yeah, they will. That's another couple for Khawaja. That should bring up the 50 for Australia. If I'm not wrong, it does. Australia 50 for 3, halfway through the 18th over of the first innings on the first session of the 4th test. And really good stuff so far from England. But this little partnership between Smith and Khawaja looking to salvage things for the Australians, the home side, a little bit. Of course, Australia coming into this game with an unassailable 3-0 lead. They have retained the Ashes. England playing for pride. Here's Tongue. Ooh, beats the outside edge. That was really close. Khawaja just pushed forward at that. Just had a little nibble at it and nearly feathered a touch through. Just looking at it again, angles in and just moves away off the surface. A little bit of grass on the surface, so there is some seam movement on offer. And it didn't move a huge amount. Khawaja lucky to just remain inside the line of that one. Just looking at it again, yeah, just moved away. A little bit of deviation. Khawaja just lucky to stay inside the line of it. Ooh, lots of comments. We'll have a read of them in a moment. The next ball's played out towards a deep backward square leg. Crawley fields. They'll take a single. 51 for 3 now, the score. I'll read all of them out at the end of the over. Just a reminder, if you joined the stream and you're enjoying it, please do give me a thumbs up. And hopefully we'll get pushed up the algorithm. I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to try and do this all 5 days of the test. Try and get at least one stream out a night. It's tricky because I'm traveling a fair bit, but I'd like to just do one stream a night at least on YouTube's. And I might make a little end of year review video or something as well at some stage. Anyway, here's Tongue into Smith, who waits on this nicely, plays it off into the onside. There is no run. That is the end of the over. Australia 51 for 3 after 18 overs. Right, the comments that I missed. I dislike the Poms cricket, but one thing I love is Izzy Westbury. She's one thing I love about English cricket. I love Izzy. Worked with Izzy a lot in the past. Get on really well with her. She's really cool. Did you know she used to captain the Netherlands women's cricket team, as well as the Middlesex women's cricket team, ages ago, but she did. I mean, around here, the sentiment is it's all a bit of banter because we aren't that side of the fence, yeah? Head can have a beer and be happy. He certainly can. Maybe the England side channeled it in between us and got absolutely hammered on the drinks. Lucky they didn't drive towards the outback. And then Jeff Moon says, I think David Gower got into a biplane and buzzed the warm-up match players. Is that worse than the current players? I'll tell you in a second. Cars into Khwaja, full, driven, straight to cover, no run. Right, so in between us, great reference. Great reference. Yeah, I mean, David Gower was a different beast altogether. My favorite fact about it, I got to know David Gower, by the way. We spent time together in Pakistan, of all places, where he'd been many times, and obviously I'm of Pakistani heritage, so I really enjoyed hanging out with him on England's tour of Pakistan. He was part of the television broadcast team. I was with BBC Test Match Special, so we spent a lot of time together, and he was just so lovely, so fun, everything you want. Cast in, driven nicely, back to the bowler, who stops in his follow-through, no run. Like, everything you want from like a cricketing hero, which David Gower is for me, no doubt. Like, it was just so cool, man. I've met some players who were real letdowns in real life, but David Gower, just charming, witty, fun, engaging, a total gentleman. He doesn't make you feel any type of way, really, other than just like he's listening to you, he's interested in what you have to say, he'll give you feedback, everything, I really like him. I've got a lot of time for David Gower. He's just really, really lovely bloke. And a bona fide national treasure, I think I'm going to say. Short outside the off stump. Khwaja ducks under it anyway. And he goes through to the keeper. No run, still 51 for 3. So, so my favorite thing he ever did was once he walked out of a post-match press conference or end of the day press conference during a test match and said, like, sorry guys, we're going to have to leave it there because I've got tickets to the theatre. And he just avoided the rest of the press conference, went to the theatre to watch whatever he had tickets to. And I was like, that's a gangster move, David. And he's still very cool. I've got a picture of me and David Gower outside a Sufi shrine in Multan. It's a very unique thing. Oh, a cast gets Khwaja nibbling at one outside the off stump again. Nearly gets the outside edge. It goes through to the keeper. But Khwaja just flirting with danger outside the off stump at the moment. A little bit of away movement. It's becoming tricky for him to maneuver. And then, Smith to get 100 here, says Rory. Oof, Rory. Big. He's going big already on Steve Smith. Smith's on 9 off 29 right now. You're looking for another 91 runs? Well, I don't know. Maybe. Been a good recovery so far. It's just in its infancy still. Both players yet to get into double figures, Khwaja and Smith. Here's Bryden Cast into Khwaja, who again leaves one awkwardly outside the off stump. It was coming in sharply towards him. There's not a lot of conviction in those leaves from Khwaja, but crucially, he's still out there. And Bryden Cast trying to bowl with a bit more pace as well, up to 140 in this over. The MCG looks like a monster, man. It looks massive. Massive. 51 for 3, the score. And everybody's got their jackets on, their hats on. It looks like a day of English cricket, really, doesn't it? Over under 75.5 runs in this session, says Jen. I don't know, man. I don't really mess with the sports betting thing. When you're a broadcaster, you're not really allowed to. So I don't really mess with that. Cast in. That ball's turned into the onside, no run. Over under for the session. If I had to guess, though, probably higher than 75, I would say. Probably, how much time is there left in this session? Another half hour? Yeah, about 26 minutes. Maybe a run a minute would get you to 77, wouldn't it? I put my over under a little bit higher than that. I think Australia will time it a bit better towards the end of the session. Maybe 80. I'm going to say 80. I think Australia will end up on something like 80 by the end of the session, I would say. But I don't know. Obviously, if you're placing bets on the game, then do so at your own risk. I'm not gonna. Anyway, what's the? Oh, hold on. What'd you say, Jen? Sorry, I just got back what I missed. What do you mean it's good weather? This is English conditions. What do you mean it's a good weather? It's English conditions. Yeah, it is. It is. It sort of reminds me of going to Test cricket in England. Although I've been very lucky. Most of the times I've been to Test cricket in England, the weather's been great. Especially when I've been working, except for that COVID summer where it rained and rained and rained at Southampton. I remember that vividly. His tongue in, full, driven nicely by Smith, but straight to I think that's Ben Stokes at mid-off, no run. And Khwaja just looking around a little bit. I do think they'll find a little bit more fluency, these batters. England would just love one more. Just one more. Get Smith or Khwaja, get Cameron Green in there right now. Or better yet, get Green and Carey out there before lunch, test them out a little bit. But you get the feeling somewhere in this Australian innings, maybe it will be Smith, maybe it'll be Khwaja, maybe it'll be Green. Someone is going to mount a counter-attack, like a telling one that gets the score up to something useful. Full and bowled him. Oh my goodness. Full and fast from tongue. Smith goes for the drive, drives over the ball. It sort of goes under his bat, through to the stumps. A bit of a nothing shot really from Steve Smith. And Josh Tongue has a third wicket. Australia 51 for 4. Well, that's exactly what England wanted going into the interval. There's still time to get more wickets, but Steve Smith goes. Someone in the comments just put the mockers on him. Somebody came along, and it was Rory who said Smith to get a ton. And there we go, right onto middle stump. It didn't do much off the surface, really. And Steve Smith is sort of looking at the pitch going, oh, it did that. But I don't think it did that. I think he just played it down the wrong line. He's walking off the MCG, 9 off 31 he got. And Josh Tongue, 3 wickets for Josh Tongue this morning. Australia 51 for 4. And just letting everybody know, thank you so much for joining the stream, by the way. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching and enjoying the stream. If you get a chance, check out some of my other content on my channel as well. Make lots of content. Content guy now. Not really. But I do like doing watch-alongs. And it's always nice to get the thumbs up and stuff. It helps me on the replays and all that kind of stuff. So if you're able to do that, I would appreciate it. Cheers. I do like the Ceylon Cola. It's good stuff. Sugar-free. Promise they don't sponsor me. Yet. Right. Alex Carey is the new batter out there. Coming in ahead of Cam Green. And taking what looks like a leg stump guard. No, it's 2 legs. For sure. He's had a terrific series, Alex Carey. Scored lots of runs, tormented England's bowlers. But today, the bowlers are very much on top. Australia looking a little bit out of sorts, uncharacteristically out of sorts. Could we see England batting today? At the moment, that would be the likely scenario, right? Who saw this coming? Come on. Nobody saw this coming. Don't tell me you saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming. It's good conditions. England won the toss, remember. A little bit overcast, a little bit cold, a little bit of grass left on the surface as well. And so far, England making hay with the ball. Here's Tongue into Alex Carey, who works his first ball away off his hips down towards fine leg. Picks up a single. He's off the mark, I think, unless that's leg buys. I'm pretty sure that's off the bat. Yes, it is off the bat. So Carey off the mark. Australia 52 for 4. Halfway through the 20th over. And just a reminder, if you've not done so already, give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Wow, what a delivery. Josh Tongue, man. There's a little bit of this swinging in, but I feel like a batter of the class of Smith. Like if you were doing an aggressive post-mortem on Australia's performance, like if it was Australia who were 3-0 down, that shot would get a lot more scrutiny. Khwaja gets forward and pushes the ball defensively, just in front of cover, but not far away enough to pick up a single. Josh Tongue bowling well here, good pace, keeping the pressure on. And just looking at that replay again of the Smith dismissal, I just feel like in different circumstances, It's gone through the gate, between the bat and the pads, onto the stumps. Batter or Smith's class. Should never be happening. Oh, it's full and flicked away nicely out towards mid wicket. There's a fielder out in the deep. Should pick up a couple of runs here, Usman Khwaja. He does. He's on to 11 now. Australia 54 for 4. Thank you for the thumbs up. Whoever did that, appreciate it. Trying to keep rising through these algorithms. Keep helping me out during this test. I'm trying to get my channel's watch time up so I can monetize it. You need something like 3,000 hours of watch time. So if anybody out there wants to turn on your laptop one day and leave random videos from my channel playing. Just kidding. Don't do that unless you want to. Right, Josh Tongue into Usman Khwaja now. He bowls and left alone outside the off stump. Proper test cricket from Usman Khwaja. 54 for 4, an over from Josh Tongue. 3 for 14 his figures from his 6 overs. And he's applauded by most people. It's hard to say because I've got the volume turned down because obviously I'm live streaming, but he's applauded by a fair chunk of the MCG, particularly the England fans, obviously. Looking at the side-on view of that Steve Smith wicket, it's very spectacular. The bails went flying towards the keeper, like just flying through the air. And a bit of dust came off the surface as well. It's nice stuff, that. Australia 54 for 4. And for the first time in what feels like a very long time, England are on top in this test match. Well, I can't say they're on top of this test series, but you know what I mean. You're 3-0 down. How on top can you really be if you're 3-0 down? But anyway, everybody's travelled to the MCG. England fans, they'll be grateful for this. Nice little burst to enjoy. Carse into Carey, who gets up on his toes and pushes the ball defensively into the offside. There is no run. Nice aggressive field still set for Carse, who ramped up the pace there, 141 kilometers per hour. Alex Carey's got buckets of runs this series already. Played some telling innings. England would love to send him to the dressing room as well, pre-lunch. How much time we got to lunch? Still 19 minutes to go to lunch, you know, so plenty of time for England to hurt Australia further. Here's Bryden Carse into Alex Carey. Again, gets his bat down in time and defends the ball to mid-on. There is no run. 54 for 4, the score remains. Right, let's have a look at these comments. We want sweltering 40 degrees centigrade. Players cramping. Cracks showing that pitch. The pitch that is, we don't need people showing. The pitch that is, we don't need people showing cracks. Yeah, fair enough. My eyes just cracked as well. This reminds me of the Perth first test. Yeah, it does feel a bit like Perth, doesn't it? Josh Tongue should not bowl again this innings. Have this bowling figures intact. Well, this is short outside the off stump and hammered away. Beautiful shot by Alex Carey. Should go to the boundary. It's slowing up on the outfield. It's not going to go to the boundary. Fielder's going to catch up to it. It's Ben Stokes who gave chase. It's a very slow outfield out in the covers. Maybe he didn't get a hold of it as well as I thought. That's 3 runs to Alex Carey. Australia 57 for 4. All right, where did I leave that? Let's have a look. Josh Tongue should not bowl. Well, I don't know, Jen. I feel like, you know, he's looking for a 5-wicket haul, isn't he? He's looking for a 5-wicket haul. He's looking for more, hunting for wickets. We will read more of the comments in just a moment. Just taking a look at the replay of that chase for some reason. You know, Carey's at the non-strikers and Khwaja on strike. 11 off 25 for him. Here's Bryden Carse sprinting in with his 2 slips and gully in place. Khwaja defends up on his toes. Back to the bowler, no run. Right. Yes, Aatif, loving this, right? But Carse, you know what? It's good to see. Shame it's 3 tests late. Yes, this is the prevailing opinion for England cricket fans right now. They'll be watching this thinking, oh, they're playing quite well. Where was this before? Where was this when we needed it, is what the England cricket fans are thinking right now. And rightfully so. Love the 3-0 lead as well, says Jen. It's either 5 wickets or it'll be 50 runs more. Oh, you mean for Josh Tongue? Yeah, fair enough. I think he'll gamble. I think he'd like to gamble on the 5 wickets. Carse in again. And Khwaja plays that ball quite late to backward point. Not a super convincing shot. Convincing shot. Right. Ta-ta. Either B5A, because what are your thoughts on Cast? I don't think he's made for the new ball. That's exactly what Jen said, and he's pointed that in the comments as well. Yeah, I think England were trying to fit a square peg into a round hole with Cast. But I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I think they're going to keep persisting with this strategy. I mean, Atkinson today looked better. I know he doesn't. He's only got the 1 wicket so far to show for it. There's 1 wicket more than Cast, though, isn't it? And I think he bowled really well, actually. I think Gus Atkinson, absolutely superb today. Superb. Yeah. Anyway, here's Cast, final ball of his 8th over, short pulled away by Khwaja. Doesn't time it. It just sort of dribbles to mid-wicket, really. No run anyway, so just the 3 off that over. And Australia has gone to an advert. 57 for 4 after 21 overs. So, yeah, interesting stuff at the moment here in Melbourne. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the live stream. We'll keep it going to the end of this session. Do we come back for a second session? It depends on how tired I am. Let's see. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'll make a call on it a bit later. Maybe I save myself and do more tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But it's a enthralling game of cricket already. Just England with those 4 wickets have completely subverted the narrative. Now I'm left in a bit of a conundrum, guys. I was given a chocolate bar today, toffee crisp. Just given it by a fan, which was nice. Do I eat it, though? And do I eat it now? Here's Tongue in, full driven, beautiful shot. Travelling towards the long on boundary. Fielder giving chase. Should get there. He does. Again, slow outfield. A couple of runs off Josh Tongue. And Kerry moves to 6. Australia 59 for 4. Yes, 59 for 4. Do I eat it? Come on, boys. Lads. Do I eat this? Say no. I want 4 no's. 4 of you watching. 4 no's, please. And then I'll be shamed into not eating it. Sorry, I got my fizzy drink. Toffee crisp, says Wakas. Does Jofra come out of retirement if England win this test? As next ball's manoeuvred to mid-wicket, no run. No, I would say no. You leave Jofra. Let's have a little look. Maybe wrong footwork for Smith as well in that wicket. No, if the ball's going between bat and pad, then you've done something wrong. You got into the wrong position for sure. Gus Atkinson has been on the money too. Him, Tongue, and Archer for me. Does Jofra come out of retirement? Toffee crisps? No. Thank you, Jen, for the no. Thank you for the no. I needed that. I need a couple more no's, actually, if possible. Otherwise, I'll eat them with no shame whatsoever. Eat it, not them. There's just one. No on behalf of your missus. Thank you, Wakas. Tongue full, driven nicely by Carey through the covers. Again, just slowing up on that outfield. Maybe he didn't get a very good connection. Will Jacks does the fielding. They get back for another 2. Carry on to 8. Australia 61 for 4. My missus would never stop me eating your toffee crisp. She's one of those lovely people who's just like, no, don't worry, just eat, never stop. Just if you want something, just do it. All right. Yeah, but she's not here right now, so I've had 2 no's. No more. Can't overdo these things, as has probably recently been said to the England side, huh? Right, Tongue into Carey, length outside off, played quite nicely, just sort of drove it to backward point. No run though, picked out the fielder. 61 for 4. Enjoying this session. It's interesting now. The game is already set interestingly. It does have Perth vibes. Somebody mentioned like it's a bit like Perth. It does feel a bit like Perth. That Perth test. It was interesting the way the advantage sort of flip-flopped. And by the way, if you haven't already, give me a thumbs up on this video, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. There's a guy in the crowd with a crown and giant ears. Oh, okay, he's trying to be our king. His Tongue into Carey, gets forward, pushes the ball past the bowler, but only as far as mid-on. There's no run. The 4th Ashes test, live from the MCG. I'm not at the MCG. I'm in Luton, but I'm watching it on the telly. And somebody's got a beach ball out at the MCG. Lots of England fans in attendance, enjoying themselves. And some of them have T-shirts on. I think some of the jackets have gone. Maybe it's got a little bit warmer. Some of the jackets have been put away. I was seeing a lot of jackets and hoodies and hats and things earlier. Here's Josh Tongue into Carey, who again works the ball to cover. There is no run. All right. I can't believe the criticism for Khwaja in Australia. He's a legend. I agree with Kaz. Are you a poor gravy over chicken person or dip chicken to gravy? Depends on the kind of chicken. I think I'd probably dip the chicken into gravy. I haven't, like, with fried chicken, like if you get one of those, if you get like chicken strips or like, just popcorn chicken or things like that, dip that into the gravy and just bangs, man. Bangs. I've recently enjoyed Popeyes. I don't know if you guys have Popeyes in Australia, but in England they've got Popeyes now. Louisiana style fried chicken. Oh my days, man. So good. So good. Anyway. Isn't that the same beach ball as Darren Bent from that famous game? I think it might be, mate. I think it might be Wakas. Right, Atkinson's back for another spell. It starts with a good length. Outside off, just angling in towards Khwaja, pushes the ball into the offside, no run. Atkinson has figures of 1 for 7 from his 7.1 over so far. So he's been bang on the money. 61 for 4 Australia. And Ben Stokes hoping he can add one more to that wicket column before lunch. Man, Melbourne's got a beautiful skyline. I must get over there at some point. Sometimes I wonder if I made the right call in 2022 by not going. I should point out that was just for 1 day and 1 game. Leading edge. Ooh. Along the ground. Sorry, didn't mean to get too excited. Trickles past Jacob Bethel at backward point. He has to get up and chase the ball down. Throw comes back. I think they get back for 3 in the end. Good running by Khwaja and Carey. Khwaja's on to 14 of 30 now. And Australia are 64 for 4, I think. Yeah, 64 for 4. What was that last comment? Sorry to be that guy out there, but Popeyes is boycott. Is it? Oh, man. You know what? It sucks. I'm just going to be a vegetarian. Just going to be a vegetarian. Thanks for letting me know, Wakas. It's been a while since I've been there, to be fair, but good to know. Everything is boycott. Oh, outside edge. No. Very close, though. Really good delivery from Atkinson again. Just teasing Carey forward. He tried to get forward and push it through the covers. Nearly got an outside edge on it. It was sort of angled in and then just held its line. In fact, just moved away. Didn't hold its line. It moved away from the left-hander. And the arms up in the air for the Australian slippers. Yeah, there's a few like sort of independent. So where I live now in London, where I've been living for the last year, there's a lot of sort of independent fried chicken eateries. Thing is, their gravy's never good, man. Their gravy is never good. I sometimes throw around the idea of making my own gravy, but as in at home, nothing naughty. Here's Atkinson in. As Carey pushes that ball into the offside, no run. 64 for 4, the score remains. Khwaja 14 of 30. Carey 8 of 12. What you are saying? At least Jackson Root can take some rest this test. Yeah, hopefully we won't need them. Hopefully England won't need them to bowl too much, and we can get some of the conventional bowlers doing carrying more of the workload. Sorry, I know it's a bit annoying. This is dusty. It's hotel rooms. Laptops get dusty. I know. Bloody capitalism. Yes, Wakas. You're right. You're right. But it's always good to be vigilant. So I appreciate the heads up. I do. Asians don't do gravy. We do silent. And that ball's pushed to the bowler. No run. No, listen, Wakas. You're missing something here. Obviously, silent, which is curry, is different. And curry is a different kettle of fish. Gravy is like a dip for your chicken. Some people like to pour it over the chicken, give it some more flavor. That's fine. But it's like usually with dry or fried chicken or boiled chicken, whatever. Have your grilled chicken, maybe some people pour gravy over it. A bit like if you got a steak and you put some peppercorn sauce on it, the gravy is a bit like it serves like that purpose for chicken. Here's Atkinson in, and that's a comfortable leave for Carey outside the off stump. Decent-ish over that from Atkinson. The score for Australia remains 64 for 4. And yeah. Oh, there's the Super Smash has started as well today. I didn't know that. Auckland playing the Northern Districts. 24 for 0 after 3 overs, Auckland. Love the Super Smash, man. I know people are like, oh, it's T20 cricket, not proper cricket. Only Test cricket matters. I like all cricket, bro. I'll watch anything. I was watching Indonesia versus Cambodia earlier. It's the only game I could find that was on Christmas Day. If it's on, I will watch it. That's my rule, right? Josh Tongue's going to continue for an eighth over. 3 for 18 is figures. Australia 64 for 4. And we got 6 minutes to lunch. So I think if England are quick here, they should be able to get 2 overs in. Yeah. 2 seamers. You should be able to get 2, maybe 3. Probably not 3. 2. 2, I think, is realistic. Here's Tongue in. The ball's defended back to him by Khwaja. It's full and relatively comfortable defensive shot. Pressure on Khwaja now to sort of shepherd this innings. In the middle order, though, he's done all right. You sort of associate Khwaja with top order batting. In the middle order, 436 runs at an average of 62.3. Not bad at all, sir. On that note, have you ever had curry on chips? I've never had curry on chips. Not my thing, man. I prefer gravy with lamb, not chicken. It's all about Algerian sauce with fried chicken. Tell me you've tried that. I've had an Algerian fried chicken burger, which presumably comes with the Algerian sauce. Yeah, hang on, his Tongue was left alone outside the off stump, no run. There's a place in East London called Pit Stop who do an Algerian style chicken burger, which is not bad. It's not my favorite, if I'm honest, but it's not bad. Like, I could have that. It will serve a purpose. They also do these loaded fries, which are really good. Just bits of chicken chopped up and some fries, a bit of cheese in there, some I think there's some fried onions in there as well. Ah, it just bangs, man. So good. Ah, so good. Pit Stop. If you're ever in East London, find Pit Stop. I think it's like in Seven Kings or something. Here's Tongue again. Good length again. Khwaja leaves again outside the off stump, no run. Yeah, I really love that. We got to stop talking about food, guys. I don't want to have to do a late night order. I totally will. I'm on a weird sleeping pattern. I'm probably going to be up watching this test all night. 1:26, so that means there's 4 minutes to go till lunchy munchies. Not for me, for these guys. And thanks for staying with me on the watch along, guys. I'll be doing one each night. I'll always post a status on my YouTube letting you know which of the 3 sessions I'm going to do. Tongue in, full, driven down towards past mid-on, in fact. This ball's uncharacteristically picking up a little bit of speed on this outfield. Bryden Cast does chase it down in the end, and they'll get back for 2. Yeah, 2. 66 for 4 Australia. So, yeah, if you want, just stay up to date on that. If you really want, you can click the bell icon on my thing. And hold on, I've been eating gnocchi carbonara lately. Gnocchi carbonara. Is Tongue driven? This should be 4. I think he's timed this well enough. Straight down the ground, Usman Khwaja. Yeah, it did slow up on the outfield, but it eventually got over the rope. And that's a boundary for Australia. Probably the shot of the day, I'm going to say. Just slightly over pitch from Josh Tongue. Khwaja drives, not too hard. Picks up a boundary. Australia 70 for 4 now. Here at the tail end of the first session of the first day of the 4th test. Nice shot. Just looking at it. Ball picking up a little bit of damage off the surface. Here's Tongue into Khwaja. Fuller. Khwaja turns the ball towards mid-wicket and then decides against a single. So decent over for Australia. 6 runs from it. 70 for 4 after 24. They will play one more. Yeah, 2 minutes to go to lunch, so they'll have one more over, I reckon. Yeah, for sure. And I'm pretty sure my feed is about 30 seconds behind and stuff. So wait, hold on. Let's have a little look on... is that yay or nay for you? I'm not really a carbonara guy. I like gnocchi. I once had a gnocchi at Headingley in Leeds, England, which was... it was way overcooked. It was really hard. Like that gnocchi on a good length would just... yeah, I'm not a carbonara guy, man. But I like gnocchi, though. Pit stop is good. Yeah, you're making me hungry. The England top order can do with a few good gnocchis. It's a terrible pun. A few good gnocchis. Bum. These are. I'm always here for a bad pun. There's Atkinson into Carey, who works the ball to mid-on, no run. So just survival this over. Somebody came in earlier and talked about over-unders, didn't they? And asked if it would be a good over-under 75. Pretty good, actually, if you think about it. 70 for 4. I said 80, didn't I? I didn't anticipate Steve Smith getting out. Wow. Really nice. I like the bat, actually, that Alex Carey has. The orange grip. Need to have a closer look at that. Looks good. 2 slips still in place. Atkinson, good length outside off. And Carey just pulls out of his shot at the last second, just pulls his bat inside the line of it. He could have been in trouble, but saved himself. Let's take a look at his bat. Oh, what is it? It's Kookaburra, isn't it? It's a Kookaburra bat. Yeah. Taking a look at it. I don't know if it's an actual Kookaburra bat or if he's just put the stickers on a bat that he likes. This is the thing. I think everybody knows that about modern cricket now. Like, right, cricketers they just pick a bat they like and put the stickers on it of whoever's going to sponsor them. Atkinson in, thick outside edge, diving fielding effort at gully from Jacob Bethel. His pants come off and he shows his underpants to everybody in the crowd and has a little smile about it. I shouldn't say his pants came off because pants can mean different things, can't it? His trousers came down and you just got a big view of his underpants. And the TV producer decided to go for a close-up, and on it says Budgie Smugglers on Jacob Bethel's underpants. Budgie Smugglers. Atkinson into Khwaja, who turns that ball towards mid-wicket, and there is no run. Atkinson, even though it's Josh Tongue who's got the 3 wickets, and traditionally you'd make him the pick of your bowlers, I think Atkinson's played an underrated role here, just containing and controlling these Australian batters and creating the pressure that's allowed some of the wickets to fall. I see some comments there. I'm going to come back to them at the end of this over. I'll read out all the comments at the end of this over. If you've got anything to say, drop it in there, and I'll read them all out before I end the live stream. Gus Atkinson, top of his run, 2 slips, a gully in place. Usman Khwaja on strike, 20 off 37 for him. Here's Atkinson, wide of the crease, full and flicked away nicely. Usman Khwaja should pick up a single. He does to square leg. And that means he'll go into lunch safely. He's on 21 off 38 at the non-strikers. Then 1 ball to go before lunch. Carey on 9 off 17. We're looking to see this off in England. We're looking for a magic ball from Atkinson. Get them a wicket right on the stroke of lunch. He's going to try and make Carey play here. Just needs to come close to him. Make him push for that outside edge. Still got the 2 slips and the gully in place. Atkinson, there he comes, wide of the crease, left alone, outside of off stump by Carey, and that should be lunch, should it? Yes, I think it is. Australia 72 for 4 after 25 overs having been put into bat by England, and that's a pretty good session for England. Pretty good. Khwaja on 21 off 38. Australia won't just be panicking just yet, but pretty good start from England, I think. We couldn't have asked for much more than that. Right, let's read some of these comments. That's one dad joke to read out in your comedy tour segment. Thank you, Wakas. What the hell was that? Camera went fully down under. I wonder what Big Gus will have for lunch. Atkinson's diet. Very good. Wakas, you're on a roll. Well, we know England does well in first sessions. Let's see. That's a good point, Jen. England have had a few good first sessions on this test series, and the scoreline is still 3-0. So we'll see how things develop in the next session. But yeah, it's a fascinating test match still to me because, I know it's a dead rubber now, and like there's a little bit of the intrigue of the Ashes that's gone now that Australia officially retained. But if England were able to win the next 2 test matches or at least put in interesting performances, there's still the little matter of the World Test Championship and just pulling back that narrative a little bit about, I think there's a segment of English fans that will just not be happy regardless of what happens. But I think just retaining the faith of the fans that are still there, the people that have turned up, putting in performances for them, it's very important for England. So we'll see how things go. But at the end of the first session of play, I can tell you that Australia, 72 for 4, 25 overs have been played. The 4 wickets to fall. Travis Head was first to go. Bowled for 12 by Gus Atkinson. And then Jake Weatherald went for 10. Caught by Jamie Smith down the leg side off the bowling of Josh Tongue. Marnus Lambashane edged to Joe Root in the slips, also off the bowling of Josh Tongue. He went for 6. And then Steve Smith, the fourth wicket to fall, was bowled by Josh Tongue. The ball that just came in towards him, and he played outside the line of it. Ball went between bat and pad onto the middle stump, and he went for 9 off 31. Osman Khwaja is not out on 21 off 38. Alex Carey 9 off 18. Still to come for Australia: Cam Green, Michael Neser, Mitchell Starc, Jai Richardson, and Scott Boland. So plenty of batting still there for Australia, but England will be very pleased with this. Just the 3 bowlers used by England in the first session. 9 overs for Gus Atkinson, 1 for 12. Bryden Cast bowled 8 overs, none for 32. And Josh Tongue, 8 overs, 3 for 24. I'll be pleased with that. Well, Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum, that effort from England has been much improved. I think we can all agree. Right, last few comments, and then we'll close off this live session. Many instances England fans go to bed happy but wake up. Yeah. You're right, Jen. Anything can happen. I'm fully anticipating things could well go pear-shaped for England here. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you're still with me, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. Give a watch to some of my other videos. I've done a series called Cricket History Explained, which I'm very proud of. I've got some stand-up comedy videos on my channel as well, so check those out if you fancy it. And I'll be back tomorrow with another live watch-along. If you're able to join me there, please do. It'd be great to have your company. And until then, enjoy the rest of the test tonight, everybody, and look after yourselves, and I'll see you very soon. And for everybody celebrating, Merry Christmas.